Make sure my shirt's up far enough so I'm not accidentally...
So you're in our ratings? Okay, let's get some ratings here. Come on.
No! Hike my shirt up a little bit further just for that.
By that.
Oh, shit.
This is BRG Podcast, episode 30 for August 1st, 2016. This episode is brought to you by our wonderful patrons over at patreon.com. Got on over there and see if we can give a little to help us out a whole lot. Hey guys, welcome back to yet another episode of the BRG Podcast. And tonight I am, once again, with my beautiful, my wonderful, my gorgeous wife, Carolyn.
Ahoy, ahoy.
Ahoy, ahoy. As always. Anyways, so tonight's going to be a fun podcast because we're actually going to be diving into talking about our gaming systems, not just like, talking, apologize in advance, by the way, bugs everywhere because our screen doors don't work for crap. Anyways, we're going to be talking about our gaming systems, not so much as hey, this is what we use, we will give you a little understanding of what it is, but more so over, it's going to be more of a... talking about the stuff we use or have used and kind of give our input and thoughts on what's behind it. So that'll be interesting. But first, the news. Okay. So starting us up at the top of the news bites here. This is kind of sad, and this is sad on a couple of fronts here, but basically, Pro Counter-Strike pulled from German TV in wake of the shootings in, what is it? How is it?
Munich?
Munich, thank you.
Munich.
Sorry, my German's really rusty. Anyways, so basically, in case you guys didn't know, there was an awful, terrible shooting in Munich, so, nice it's not the only one that has this happen. But it certainly is a lot less common over there, I can say that.
Very true.
Mass shootings and a much even greater scale than this are kind of common. I mean, people kind of just roll their eyes nowadays. But it's a big deal. And as part of that, following the tragedy, the Turner's E-League Counter-Strike Global Offense Tournament will not be airing in Germany. Basically, according to ESPN, the decision was made by television channel ProSieben Max, who is the television company that would be airing in Germany, and they made the call themselves to go ahead and pull this event from the air. Now, the event's still going on, just they're not going to be airing it in Germany. I mean, I certainly do understand, and I can't fault them for this. I'm not in Germany. I don't understand the general feeling that's going on over there. Again, I hate to say it, but in the United States, we've had so many mass shootings that I'm almost becoming numb to it. And it's a very, very sad thing. I don't make light of it, but it may be a bigger deal because it seems to be a little bit less frequent in other countries like Germany. So I feel for them, and I understand and respect their decision for this. The one thing that really, really got my dander up was a quote here. And this is, forgive me, but this really bites my nuts. According to the Bavarian officials, the Munich gunman was himself a Counter-Strike player. Robert Heimberger, president of the State Crime Office, said the gunman played Counter-Strike Source, which he claimed is a game played by nearly every known rampage killer. Okay. So this is where the seething starts. Somehow, even through all of the knowledge that's been put out there, the actual scientific studies that have gone on, there's still somebody or some group of people out there that still have this fear or somehow associate these first-person shooters with people who actually go out and perform violent crimes with guns. I'm never going to even go into the I have that. I will say, though, Nathan Grayson, who's the poster of this article on Kotaku, he made a comment on here. I'm going to go ahead and put a big old citation needed next to this extraordinary far-reaching claim, especially seeing as, according to Steam Spy, Counter-Strike also happens to be the first and second most popular Steam game in Germany. to put it simply, everybody's playing this game. Okay? So, I mean, yeah, to sit there and have, a gunman happen to play a game that has a gun in it, I mean, it's almost a well-doy, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It kind of pains me. It really does. So anyways, that's the news for you. Again, my heart goes out to everybody in Germany. It is always a tough thing. And my full respects to everybody, friends and family of victims and so on. I hope we can move past this. And I really, really hope that we can work on truly identifying the real cause of these things happening and find solutions and not just point and blame the first thing that comes to our minds. So... Anyways, on to a lighter topic.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I'm not sure quite how a crash is, or quite sure how a crash is lighter, but I guess maybe...
It was an intentional crash.
It was
the car is hardly damaged.
And we're going to go with the high point of... It looks like nobody was hurt. The window got damaged, and his life was ruined, apparently. So a crazy guy crashed his car into the gaming company that created the game that ruined his life.
Right.
Yeah, I'm kind of at a loss on this one. I'm sorry. I just don't know.
At least it wasn't a mass shooting.
Granted, there's always that. But, I mean, maybe it's because I'm a more casual gamer. But, I'm sorry, but Disney's Emoji Blitz is not going to ruin my life. Pokemon Go is not going to ruin my life.
I need to insert a picture of the pile of laundry we have right now.
No. That's detrimental to the housekeeping, not my life. Anyways, so this guy in China, when he was no longer able to control his gaming urges, he decided that the only way to battle his addiction was to crash his car into the office of the game developer. That was Nexon, apparently.
Makes perfect sense to me.
Absolutely, yes. Game, you ruined my life, and I can't control my desire to play you, so I'm going to ram my car into your development headquarters.
It's hard for them to ignore him. If you just write a stern letter, you can ignore that. But if you run your car in...
What if you send a strongly worded email with a read receipt on it? Because then at least it's been...
I want to point out here right now that I will bet you that the statistics show that most of the people who run their cars into buildings likely have played a video game in their lifetime.
Yes. Maybe even a driving simulator.
Let's not go too far with this.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Words fail me, but this goes back to the whole thing of there are a lot of crazies out there. And it's crazy in all flavors and types. Yes. So, yeah, there's that. So there you go. So somebody decided to crash.
To do that.
Sorry, to be clear, to crash his brother's car.
Oh.
That's his brother. He was visiting.
Poor brother.
He was visiting. I think South Korea, visiting his brother there, where the company is stationed, and drove his brother's car into.
Oh. Yeah. That just makes it sad now, because poor brother. I hope that guy gets an ass whooping.
In other news, so this is a neat little kind of throwback I wanted to throw at you guys. This is what a game contract looks like back in 1986, and this is kind of cool because it shows the breakdown of a port for a game. It shows you the exact breakdown of the cost, and basically it boils down to is this is let's see here, the original contract for the IBM port of Wasteland made by Interplay, which cost EA $28,000. So games were cheap back then to port.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually
3,000.
Yeah, it's great.
Wow.
This is actually was tweeted out by Brian Fargo on a Twitter account just recently, and it just kind of shows the contract and the details about it. So I found it kind of funny and thought it was worth kind of throwing up there. I'll be honest with you guys, a lot of this kind of news stuff, there is other news out there, but this I found interesting, something we weren't going to hear anywhere else. And quite frankly, it had nothing to do with Pokemon Go, so.
But there's a Pikachu right there on the
Shut it. Moving on to a hot topic my wife was absolutely just exhilarated about.
Oh boy, was I.
You're a newfound fanboy of this woman, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, that's so not the word I would use to describe it.
Dumb bitch! Sorry.
So, to anyone who didn't already know this, I'm going to apologize. I'm about to burst your bubble. I'm apparently not a feminist. I'm a female.
Really bad one.
But, yeah, I'm either not a feminist or I'm a really, really bad one. Because I'm starting to have this newfound theory that just because we are becoming overly sensitized to sexual inequality directed towards women, I think we're kind of highlighting it and making it seem more prevalent. And this is my opinion, so I'm sorry.
Just understand everything's opinion here.
Definitely not this woman's opinion, though. Who has released a whole string of videos that are apparently very well researched on how the gaming industry is slanted against women to keep us seen as either highly sexualized or victims, regardless of the role the playable character or NPC also is designed to have in the game.
This is an ongoing theme with her, just for the record.
Very much.
She has been...
She's picked up this dead horse and beaten it to death a few times.
Oh, and the worst thing about it, too, is that a lot of things I've seen that just crack me up is she'll berate a game saying, oh my god, this is totally inappropriate for kids. And you look at the cover of the game that she's holding up, and it will say M for mature.
Yes.
Of course it's inappropriate for kids. It's not for kids.
Yeah. So along those same lines, I want to point out that she went after Ubisoft really rather vehemently for Assassin's Creed Unity because they only created male playable characters. Mm-hmm. So going outside of the whole context of apparently Assassin's Creed is based off of actual historical situations where I'm going to surmise that typically in those historical situations, the assassins probably would have largely been male.
But not 100%.
Suspending all of that, she took a very, very strong stance against Ubisoft not creating female playable characters in this world. The creative director told Polygon at E3 2014 that the female assassins were left out of the game due to extra production work. Yeah, that was his quote.
Booby physics.
Basically, yeah. And there was this whole big hue and haw on Twitter, mostly, I'm guessing, people using the hashtag of females are too hard to animate or something like that. I forget what exactly it was.
I heard about that whole thing.
But it was a big hue and cry. And some of the former developers over at Ubisoft even said, hey, this would have been like maybe a day or two of extra work. We're not talking the scope that this creative director was trying to portray it as.
It sounds like this person was trying to blow her off, which
possibly could have been the situation. But the other thing that I want to point out in Ubisoft's favor, or particularly the Assassin's Creed line favor, is there are other Assassin's Creed games that have female assassins as playable characters. So it was this one specific game out of the whole line that doesn't have females that she went after, ignoring that there are like 2 or 3 other games, at least, in the Assassin's Creed lineup that include female playable characters.
This is... I apologize. This is beyond retarded.
So, in her whole big spiel about, women are either going to be sexualized, and she lines up games like Hitman Absolution and Wolfenstein, where there's these characters that are, very, very... sleek and voluptuous.
Did she actually mention Wolfenstein?
She does actually mention Wolfenstein, yes.
Do you know what Wolfenstein is?
I have no clue, but it looks rather odd.
It's one of the first person shooter games from way back in the day. This is a classic old school game. This is one of the earliest on.
This must be a newer one then, because
yes.
it was very sleek and polished.
You're right. So the Wolfenstein was a very old first person shooter game, but then somebody remade it, and there's a new Wolfenstein out there. But this is where I come to a crossroads on this. This is, I mean, we could go down this rat hole all night, and I won't. But they redo the game. In the original game, the main character you played was a male character. You go and you shoot Nazis. Okay.
Okay.
So the issue I'm having now is because this sounds like what's becoming a new thing. Is, hey, if Ghostbusters does it, or whoever else recently, everybody should have a flipped role in their remakes, their remasters, whatever. So it sounds like, well, golly gosh, the first one from way back in the day was a male, so that means the new one should be a female. And this is not just this situation or just her. There's a whole bunch of pissing and moaning because Nintendo said, hey, yeah, the new Zelda, Link's is still going to be a guy and will always be a guy. It's Link's.
Yeah. Link's is a guy.
Link's is a guy. Zelda is a woman. We're not going to have... The point is, I don't have a big deal. If they suddenly have this big tweak and want to say Zelda's going to be, Prince Zelda and female Link's, great. But you don't have to do that. You're not being disrespectful just because you won't do a gender flip on one of your characters, especially one that's been a history thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, and, I mean, Wolfenstein, obviously, I don't know. I mean, this looked like it had, these weird, alien creatures that put on, human skins. So we're not even talking Nazis anymore. And
but were the aliens female aliens?
They were, some of them, and some of them were male. And when you encountered the female aliens, they were like sirens, and if you could avoid them for a certain length of time, or avoid looking at them, then it would send you into, this separate little play mode where you're in this blank white space, and if you enable the camera, then they pose seductively, and it's weird. But it's all around bizarre. But apparently it's only the female NPCs that do it, not the male NPCs. Who knows? But then she also offers up games like Saints Row, again, for women being victimized, being shown as victims, which apparently has, and I'm sorry, this is where I'm a really bad feminist because I just kind of laughed. They called it Horde Mode. WHORED mode. And it's a male character, playable character, against female NPCs that are all very scantily clad. And he is literally beating them to death with a large purple dildo. I laughed. I'm sorry. I laughed.
That's just...
So then she offers up as kind of like her, Street Fighter. Because when a woman and a man are fighting against each other combatively on an equal footing, obviously nobody is going to be the victim. It's just two combatants that are fighting in an equal arena. So I guess that's kind of her icon is
so we don't have,
Street Fighter.
So you don't have enough females. So this is where I get confused. Let's take the retarded mode you talked about. So you have a male playable character that's beating the tar out of female NPCs with a dildo, and that's not okay because that's sexist and horrible. Now,
because they're scantily clad, I think was part of it. Yeah.
If you had a male playable character beating scantily clad male characters, then it'd be some connection to beating gays, and that would be horrible.
Yes,
but it would be okay if it was a female beating a whole bunch of scantily clad or non-scantily clad guys with. I mean,
yeah. Where's the line? Jesus Christ. Yeah. Can we move on from this one? Cause
yeah, I'm totally down for that. Because anyways, this is her in a nutshell. And if you're really curious, go look her up. She's got her tropes videos, and I mean,
are they awesome?
If you agree with her, part and parcel or whatever, absolutely fine. You're certainly entitled to your opinions. But I gotta be honest with you, there's a lot more to her, and I've read up the history about her. She's kind of a shill. She's kind of a hey look at me. She started a Kickstarter for a project.
I remember. Yeah.
That never paid out. So I mean she's just there for the popularity of it. Anyways, so there's some news bites for you guys. Quick little follow up here. We talked about Nintendo's stocks last week. They skyrocketed because people finally put 2 and 2 together and realized that there was a connection between Pokemon and Nintendo. So when Pokemon Go went off the rails, everybody started buying Nintendo stock, and Nintendo stock doubled. I mean, it went through the roof, doubled. And so Nintendo released a statement saying, hey, just a reminder here, we own a 30% stake in the Pokemon franchise. We don't even own it outright. We own a stake in it.
Yeah.
And you have to understand that Niantic, which is a company owned by ABC, which is basically Google, created this game and paid a licensing fee. Yes?
Just because this may actually get people in the know, Google and Niantic have fully split.
Yes. Well, yes, because Google now is a daughter company of Alphabet.
Right.
And Alphabet also owns things like Nest and Niantic. Anyways, so Niantic is a company that created the Pokemon Go game, and they paid a licensing fee to the company that owns the rights to Pokemon, which Nintendo owns a small stake in. Anyways, so Nintendo released a statement saying, yeah, we own a small piece. We're not even calculating this in our earnings because it's not that significant. So prices started to go back down. Last time I had checked them, they were coming back down to equilibrium before the Pokemon craze. And then Nintendo released their earnings statements for this year, and it didn't go so well. Funny thing about that, it went over very poorly, actually. Basically, what it boils down to is they kind of said we lost a lot of money. I'll put it very simply. They didn't even come close to it. And a lot of it has to do with the timing of everything. They've released a lot of information about the potential of the NX system coming out later this year, early next year. Games are being kind of pushed off like Zelda. And so basically, people have kind of dried up. They're not going to go out and buy a Wii U because, well, why would you? The NX is coming out soon enough, so why bother? Yeah. So anyways, long story short, on top of the hill rise from Pokemon that was starting to come back down, it was just adding to the free fall. So they're kind of hurting now.
I saw the phrase in there, causing stock to plummet.
Yeah.
I think those are 3 of really any company's least favorite words.
It's not going to do so well, but it just means they're going to have a bigger rise when they make
That's
a big
right.
hit with the next thing.
Yeah. It's just going to look that much more impressive.
Well, they're not the only ones having problems right now either, actually.
Naturally.
In other news...
layoffs. Yeah. We didn't start with layoffs this time.
No, this is actually legitimately...
We're
out of the gaming news specifically.
Okay.
We're kind of diving into the tech news. We try to do other news bits besides just gaming, just to keep you a little kind of in the know. So yeah, Microsoft's going to be laying off another 2,850 people. This is actually on top of a bunch of layoffs. In 2015, Microsoft laid off 78,000 people. 7,800 people. And then went on to lay off another 1,850 people. Mostly in Nokia. So back in 2013... Microsoft acquired Nokia. This is the last major purchase under that idiot Steve Ballmer, the moron that ran Microsoft for a while, who's a friggin' idiot. Anyways, so that was his last big hurrah. And at this point, in addition to those layoffs and the extra 2,000, this is effectively shedding the entirety of the Nokia business. That's the equivalent number of people that they basically took on when they acquired Nokia. And their mobile didn't do so well, so...
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I saw a Nokia anything.
Unfortunately not, because they were Windows Mobile. Windows Mobile is a fantastic operating system. It's solid. Mm-hmm. The interface is actually intuitive once you get used to it. It's very nice. It's beautiful. But the big linchpin was, to start with, it was late to the game.
Yep.
And the really big one is their App Store was anemic at best.
Yeah.
So
it was really sad.
Yeah. So unfortunately, we haven't talked about layoffs in a while, guys. So there you go. There's some layoffs for you. Sorry. In other news related to work. I like this one.
This was another one that, man, I just absolutely love this. So this gal, who I think may very well be my new hero, was told by her company, by her manager, that the head wrap you see her wearing was inappropriate attire for work. So they considered a hair in a ponytail or donning a headscarf as unprofessional.
Yeah.
But as far as the rest of the clothing went, it simply needed to be clean, well-fitting, pressed. So she says, okay, well, as long as your criteria encompasses my head and everything from my shoulders down just needs to be clean, well-pressed, and well-fitting, I'm going to start cosplaying. So she now cosplays when she goes to work. And seriously, I think she may be my new hero.
Yeah, these are all pictures of her.
Epic.
These are all pictures of her. Now she went to the boss and they had a conversation about this. And despite the unnamed company's dress code saying things need to be called in place, when pressing about that, her boss elaborates saying no straps, no hats, no sandals, etc.
Including cultural head wraps.
She has since reported her boss, who is female, by the way, just in case there's any anomaly there, or worry there, to the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. In the meantime, while she's waiting for that to pass out, these are some of the costumes that she has worn to work. And I mean, seeing her in a Star Trek outfit was awesome. Seeing her in superhero outfits and Black Widow and all that is great, especially with the lenses.
Oh yes.
But I gotta say, the hairnet and the brow brows and everything.
That is awesome. And I must point out that all of these costumes you're seeing, there are no straps, no hats, no sandals, no cleavage, no back out, no lace, no head wraps, no ponytails. So she is definitely towing that line so beautifully. Well on you, miss. I am absolutely in love. Thank you for being my hero.
It's one of those golf clap. And moving on to my hero. This is great. So take a quick look here. If you think you've seen this before, you're wrong. This is not the old Nintendo, and this is not the new Nintendo Mini that's coming out. Did you hear about that, by the way? Nintendo's re-releasing it's a little mini that's got 30 games built into it.
Ooh.
So this guy, however,
I think I may know what we're getting for Christmas.
This guy, however, one better. So the little mini is a little solid box. It's got 30 games built into it. It's already built. That's it. It's not functional the other way. This guy actually took a Raspberry Pi and actually 3D printed. So there's Raspberry Pi right here. There's original Nintendo. There's Raspberry Pi right here, and 3D printed a like 40% of the original size mini case for it with a Raspberry Pi built in.
Oh, that is so beautiful.
And then it gets better. It gets even better. So there it is. Okay. So it's USB connections.
Adorable.
USB connections, and the little cartridges are functional. What he actually built into this, he actually built the cartridges with little NFC tags, little frequency tags, so that when you put the different cartridges in, the reader reads what card it is and automatically starts
which one to emulate.
Automatically starts that game.
Okay.
And so he actually 3D printed these cute little cartridges.
Oh, those are adorable!
Isn't the best thing? Look at this!
Oh,
this is the best thing in the world! He
I
actually 3D printed these dang things with the NFC tags in them. So okay. So the one that Nintendo's selling doesn't have cartridges. Again, it's all built into the game. This guy actually built it in. So
cartridges and all.
The little lid opens. You put the little cartridge in, and you press it down.
Oh!
I love it. I love
That
it.
is so fantastic.
I love it. And it starts the game. So he actually goes through that. He also shows he's got the lights and everything. He also shows you that the cartridges themselves, if you have a phone that has NFC ability, there's a program you can download where you can program these NFC tags that are built into the little cartridges. So what he does is he shows like a Pokemon one where he actually uses his phone to reprogram the cartridge so that he can change what it is in there. So you can actually program the cartridge whatever you want. So that's kind of cool. And then on top of all that, he goes and he actually, just for the kick of it, since he has 1/40th scale box, He also went ahead and did a 1/40th scale remote control.
Oh,
I'm
no.
Find it here. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Where is it? Where is it? Oh, come on. I want to see if I can find it here. This is so great.
Well, you can see the plug.
There it is. So it's a little scale. It works. A USB is plugged into his system. It's a little tiny start button. I think this is fantastic.
This is brilliant.
And the best part is he's in our show notes. We got the links to his blog site with this video and detailed instructions. So if you have a 3D printer and you've got a little bit of skill programming Raspberry Pi, you can get the NES emulator software and find the games, which granted they're not legit games online, but nonetheless. But he shows you basically how you can do this yourself if you want one. So again, props to this gentleman. I love this. I absolutely love this. So, anyways, guys, so that's a little bit of the news for you. Now, normally we like to move on to our history here. That said, we seem to be having some problems with the oh, it came back.
Yay!
Hot dog. So we actually talk about history. So I always love this too, 'cause history is always so fun. So let's talk about history.
Is fun. I like history.
So first of all, this is almost kind of a follow-up from last week's history. We talked about in last week's history, people from IBM met with these two guys. One guy is named Steve Ballmer. The other guy is named Bill Gates. And these guys sold them on building out an OS called DOS that they were going to supply to IBM. Mm-hmm. Ballsy as that was, they didn't have it yet. They sold it to IBM before they'd done anything. So to further this process, they immediately went out afterwards and bought the rights to another existing on OS and then cleaned it up a bit and called it their own. So they went and sold this to IBM, did not having it, and they went and bought the rights to it. So this is
when?
I think so. We got one of the pages to come back. Oh, yeah, we can. Oh,
yay! Yeah. So IBM's first desktop computer was released July 28th in 1981. Mm-hmm. And IBM introduces their system 23 Datamaster desktop computer only 2 weeks before they introduced the IBM PC.
Yeah, this is geared towards a small business. So this is a little bit different from their mainstream one, but yeah, so it's,
that actually
a little bit history.
Familiar. I think I remember playing on something
this kind of goes towards the idea of history markers that had played some role in what eventually came to our gaming systems. Last but not least on our wonderful little history tour for today is the Commodore Amiga is introduced. This one's for you, Seshi. Not exactly what you played with necessarily, but the Commodore Amiga was introduced July 23rd, 1985. Commodore was introduced, featured multitasking, window operating system, color graphics, and stereo sounds, among other features of its time. That's a badass system right there.
Darn tootin'.
Dang tootin'. So yeah, again, guys, it's doing a little bit of history. It's having the fun of kind of seeing where things came from. So that's what we try to do here. I'm going to go ahead and switch gears here. We don't have any birthdays because I don't have a way to look up birthdays right now since we switched over to our new site. So I apologize. If anybody in BRG had a birthday this week, happy birthday! I don't know who it is, so I apologize.
Happy birthday to whoever.
And moving on. Events.
Indeed, there are some of those.
Yes, there is.
So we've got Gen Con 2016 coming up. Gen Con is the original, longest-running, best-attended gaming convention in the world, and it's been running for more than 44 years. Woohoo!
I'm going to wager, I don't know anything about Gen Cons, I'm not in the area, but if it's been running for 44 years, I'm going to wager that has a lot more to do with, tabletop role play.
Well, yeah, I would surmise. So if you are in the area, which is Indianapolis, Indiana, Gen Con, Indy. Gen Con is running August 4th through August 7th, and that's at the Indiana Convention Center on Capitol Avenue.
It's over in Indiana. Go find it.
Indiana.
Other popular ones is QuakeCon 2016.
That must be
held
here
in
in
Dallas,
California.
Texas.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Quake, I'd expect here in California.
Dallas, Texas.
Huh.
Yeah, funny. No, Quake, the first-person shooter game.
Oh, okay, that kind of.
I love this con too because this is actually touted as one of the largest bring your own box LAN parties.
Nice.
And this just tickles me a lot because I see. Unlike kids nowadays who put an Xbox on and put their headset on and talk to people, back in our day, we actually took our computers and our monitors, which were, if you remember last week's podcast, the CRT monitors, and we actually lugged those heavy-ass pieces of crap into our car and then drove across town to our friend's house and then got everything set up and spent 2 hours trying to get the damn things to talk to each other so we could play together. And they do this on a grand scale. It's great!
See, now this is a thing of beauty to me.
It is?
It is. Because I can appreciate this.
You didn't do it, though.
Well, of course not. Okay, you grew up in the Silicon Valley.
Yes.
I grew up in Podunk Bonnie Doon, where when we first got the internet, it was like slurping a milkshake through a stir stick.
Swizzle stick.
Yeah,
They're called swizzle sticks.
Swizzle sticks. Okay.
Anyways, more humble to our homes here, so to speak, in the BRG world. We've got
Rocket League coming up.
So we have a lot of different events we do on BRG all the time, and these are little get together events people will host. Again, this is instead of if you guys want to come play with us, anybody who's a member of BRG is more than welcome to join us for these kind of events. So if you're interested in things like this, come on over to BRG, check us out, sign up and join us because these things are really fun. And Rocket League gets a little out of hand.
Just a little.
I point to British Mining Company's YouTube website. Look up Snap Skips. I forget what it was called, Snap Skips Therapy or something like that. He used to be such a nice boy. You kind of broke him. Also, we've got Evolve, the Unrecommendables coming up. Again, this is the first of a new series we're starting with BRG, where we spend an extended amount of time playing a game, like this in this case, Evolve. And then at the end of that, we're going to have a roundtable with people who've played the game, so we can do kind of a back and forth roundtable about the game, talk about its pros, its cons, and give our general feeling and rating, if you will, if it's worth playing, worth putting money into, if there's in-game purchase and so on. So,
all right. Sounds like fun.
Stuff. Something like that.
Yay fun!
Yay fun!
I like fun.
You like fun. I like fun too. All right, guys. Quick commercial break here. I actually want to give a little lip service to Ziploc here. Ziploc is one of our wonderful BRGers. He has his own gaming channel. He does do gaming stuff. But the one thing I really actually want to point out here, or really focus on for a second, is actually his own podcast he does called Sequel Syndrome. What's really neat about this is it's another podcast that is more focused on picking a topic and spending the entire time really digging in, really digging into the podcast, really digging into that topic on the podcast. So instead of spending 30 minutes or so on it, they take the whole hour or however long it is and really dive into and talk about it in detail. I was going to be on this episode. Unfortunately, some things came up, so I wasn't able to make it, sadly. Sorry, Bob.
I do like the little vacant
window. Yeah, the little vacant window. I know. It's making me kind of sad.
Oh.
But Bob was on with Linz from Not Quite Nerds, and it was actually really fun to listen to. They had some good banter. So definitely go over, head on over to Ziploc Bob, check him out. If you just look up Ziploc Bob Ziploc Bob on YouTube, all one word, you'll find him, and you can check his stuff out. So we definitely encourage you to head over there. We love him to death, so go ahead and give him some love and see what you think of him. All right.
Okay.
So, per our promise here, we were going to talk about gaming stuff.
Right, yeah.
Gaming stuff,
because that's new and different. We don't ever talk about gaming stuff.
No, this is the gaming podcast.
Oh, that's right. That's what this is.
Yeah.
Oops, my bad.
You're bad. All right. righty. Actually, I tell you what. The first thing I'm gonna pull away for a second here. The first thing I want to do is talk about our system. So just again, we're just gonna touch on what we use to give you guys a feel for it. So to start off with, I want to show you Carowind's system here. This is the specs for Carowind's system. You can kind of a little rundown of what it is that she plays with. So we're both on Windows 10. She has kind of a hand-me-down system. It was rebuilt, repurposed from what I had, but there's some new parts given to her. But she's got a Core i5 processor. She's got AMD, I forgot what it was now, 2048 AMD Radeon card, or was it HD 7800.
That's the one that makes the pictures, right?
You're so shiny. And she's got 16 gigs of RAM. So those are kind of the finer points of it. So just so you guys know, when it comes to the gaming aspect, I'm more of a hardcore gamer, although I really haven't played a lot lately, unfortunately. But I was spec'd out to be a hardcore gamer. My system's built for it. She's more of a casual gamer.
Much more of a
casual
gamer.
You know, she'll pick up and play a little bit. Most of the games you play are...
Well, the most intense one I play is World of Warships, but for the most part, it's actually just stupid little mobile app games on my phone, like Pokemon Go and...
But for your computer, you play World of Warships, which is fun. EverQuest 2, EverQuest 1...
Minecraft,
yeah. So she's kind of a casual player.
Kind of looking into that one that the girls play, Legion or...
Oh, Heroes of the Storm?
That one.
I keep telling them they need to ping you. Because
I've got both that one, then I've got the other one that's like similar to it.
Yes, yeah, so see RG right there? So, forgive me, I'm looking at my Discord. RG and VSD play Heroes of the Storm a lot. And if you ever see them in Blizzard Room, that's probably because they're playing Heroes of the Storm.
Oh, okay.
So if you see them there, you can pop in.
Know.
Totally want to play. Anyway, so she's casual player, easygoing, nothing too butch in that regard. For me, my system's a little more intense. So again,
just a little.
It's not really that big a deal, but I am running a Core i7 4790 for a processor. I've got 32 gigs of RAM, which when I got that about a year ago ish. That was more than sufficient. It still is, to be honest with you. I've seen systems that are like, I've got 64, I've got 128. Yeah, honestly, it's really... please, guys, if you have a system where you've got like 64 or 128 gigs of RAM, I want to see a Memuse screenshot where you're actually utilizing that for a game. I'd love to see that. Anyways, but yeah, that's what I got for that.
Gauntlet Throne.
I'm just saying. For the video card, I've actually got twin GTX 960s. Right now they're not SLI, they're just straight up, because I actually run 8 monitors in total. So I'm running my bottom bank of 3 off one card, top bank off the other card, and I've got 2 peripheral monitors I use just for RAM stuff, like the one I usually have on behind me back here. They're actually running off the motherboard, the onboard video. I could go to SLI if I really need to, but really and honestly, the games I play are like World of Warships, EverQuest 2, Rocket League, Minecraft, etc. None of these games really are pushing these cards to a point where I can't have everything set to absolutely beautiful and not have an issue.
Mr. Hardcore Gamer with your spec'd out machine. You play like all the same games I do.
I play Rocket League.
Oh, that's right, yes.
And I have Evolve.
I
don't like you.
Oh.
Mine's still bigger than yours. Anyways, really honestly, the expansive monitors I have is one part because I'm in IT and we get monitors that have some flaw to them. They stop working for some reason. They've got a line in them, like dead pixel or whatever. So I end up either repairing them or just putting up with whatever fault they have. A lot of them are mismatched. But it's actually it's part just kind of be fun overkill, but the other part of it is when I do video editing, for example, I use the entire bottom spread of 3 to have a big wide timeline when I'm doing video editing. I've got a preview video window for one monitor, and I still have one monitor free for opening up files and folders. I can be watching a movie or video of some sort while I'm doing work. And then I've got one dedicated to like Discord chat. And then the one back here is just, visual for when I do podcasts. I usually have it on showing my logo or BRG or whatever. So that's just kind of where it boils down to. So that's our systems. That's all there is to it. Mm-hmm. Getting into the actual hardware we use. Where to start here? We start with headsets?
Yeah, let's start with headsets.
Start with headsets. Okay.
Yeah.
So for headsets, I'm going to go ahead and pull the browser back up here because that actually has the cool stuff on it. So I need to have a TD for this podcast because trying to manage this and not screw it up in the process. Anyway, so for headsets, the two headsets we're going to talk about here are kind of the same but a little bit different. The first is the G35 by Logitech. The other one is the G930. Now, the reason why I'm going to talk about them together is because for all intent and purposes, they're the same identical headsets. One is wired, the G35. Mm-hmm. The other one is wireless, which is the 930. I love these headsets a lot. Now, I keep throwing them at you, and you stuck with the one that you have right now. I want to get
the tape is holding nicely.
Before we get into that, let's talk about the pros a little bit here. So the functionality of them. So they have 3 programmable buttons on the side. They've got no inline audio control. So for the G35 that has a wire, USB wire, there's no block in the middle of the wire that's awkwardly falling off your desk or hanging on your chest or whatever, which is a big plus for me, trust me. It has volume scroller and mute button on the side. The boom mic automatically mutes when you fold it up. It's a pretty good boom mic. It's actually got pretty good audio. The comfort on it I really like. Mm-hmm. And the really big deal is these cups are huge. And I'll actually show you here. The cups on here, these are good size. I'm going to go right way here. These are good size cups. So you actually get pretty big here. And what's nice about these is these actually go over my ears. Not just like pressing against the cartilage. They're actually over my ears. So they're not even touching the actual cartilage, which means I'm going to have these on for prolonged periods of time and not feel like discomfort or that tenderness against my ear.
Yeah.
And I think the audio is good. Now my ears are a little more tinny than yours are. I've destroyed my hearing.
Yeah.
I know you don't do a lot. Well, you do a little bit of music on it.
Yeah, I do mostly music. Actually.
So, how do you feel about the audio quality?
I would say it's a good, well balanced.
It's got some good low end.
It's got some good low end to balance out the treble, and definitely better than like any earbuds, no matter how good they claim to be.
Yeah, well, definitely a better earbud. I think everything would be better than earbuds.
Well, granted, yeah, that's not much of a comparison. It's like, hey, look, this is a really good orange compared to this gray.
Yeah. But comfort-wise, they fit good.
Comfort-wise, they fit good. Makes a big difference for me having the multiple earrings through the cartilage.
Have you ever actually launched a software and actually played with the equalizer?
Oh, no. I don't do anything like
that. There's actually software we'll talk about as well in this.
There is?
Yeah. Go figure. So, basically, long story short, they're actually really good sound. They have, again, they're very, very comfortable. I can wear them for hours on end for gaming stints and not feel bad about it. And I've never had anybody really complain about the audio quality of them. I actually used the boom mic on this headset for a long time for recording until I finally got the Snowball that I use now. So the audio's not too bad. A little shallow, but that's about it. Now, they also have some other features. They have virtual surround sound, so to speak. So you actually get some nice surround sound out, and that works pretty good. I don't understand how it all works. It's still just single speakers in there, but you can actually hear when things are behind you and turn around and see them. So I give them a lot of props for that. Now, the downside to these things, and this is what you would call one hell of a major flaw, in my opinion, and this is the headbands, the connections for the cups here, as you can see. You see the layout of all these here. This is common, and so
Ours
common.
Look a lot like that.
Yeah, we have 2 sets of G35s. And I'm going to show you guys this one here. So there they are, falling apart. You can see this one's got the wire all around it, and still, whee! And the problem is that in the design of these things, there's 2 things that fail. The first one is these little clips right here that basically mount the cup in. they're plastic and they start shattering just because people grab their headsets, take their headsets off by the cups, and that constant stressing cracks this cheap plastic, and it cracks and crumbles literally, and then the headset falls out. Now the other failing point you saw here a little earlier is this actual little nub here that goes into this plastic actually shears off, and that's what happened with these guys. I actually had these ones here were saved once. They had the plastic crack on them, and I managed to save them. As a matter of fact, Carowin's 930s right now, if you want to grab those real quick, we got those from Cosmic. And again, the problem is that little piece of plastic. Thank you. You're really good at this. Little piece of plastic started cracking, so I put a whole bunch of tape on it. And the tape kind of holds it in place and good for now. But then for my 930 or my G35s, the both of them, the post snapped. And once the post snapped, there's nowhere to glue and fix it. It's you're gone. You're done. So that's a major flaw. I mean, there's tons of posts everywhere on the Logitech forums, on other forums, repeated comments about it, and Logitech just won't acknowledge it. They would not acknowledge the fact that this is not user abuse. I've actually sent emails to them about it, and they begrudgingly once took one of my headsets back under the guise of, well, we're gonna do that our customary no questions asked one-time returns. Like, no, this is, I mean, great, thanks, but this is not my fault. This is not me abusing it. This is a fault in the way you design these things. So anyways, that's kind of the cons to them. That really is the only real big con I have for them.
Yeah.
The layout of them, the fact that all the hardware is built up into the cups, so that you have all of the controls at your fingertips on the cups to work with, the volume controls, everything. That makes things so much nicer. You don't have that stupid bulky thing.
Oh yeah.
I love them for that. So I wish I didn't have that one flaw with them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just kind of where it is. Another major piece of the puzzle when it comes to gaming, of course, is the mouse.
Oh, yes.
Now, for you actually have an older mouse.
I do.
But
I have quite an older mouse, actually.
But it's still pretty solid, right?
It is. No, I'm actually very impressed with how well it's held up. And it still feels good and solid. It doesn't have really any issues, I'd say. I mean, every once in a while, it'll kind of, I don't know, like, I'll move the mouse and the cursor won't move with it type thing. It'll kind of stick.
In its defense, I think it has a discrete little dongle that's plugged into the back of your PC.
Right.
Which is down under the desk, so the radio might not be so clear.
There's that. The other thing that I noticed, though, is when I added a mouse pad, those little kind of skipping issues went away.
The surfaces can be very important.
Yeah.
And this mouse was released back in 2006. So it's an older mouse. So the tech for its laser pickup may not be as refined as it is now. Mm-hmm. But I actually had we both got this mouse at the same time.
Yep.
It was one of the first. It was the MX series that had the weighted scroll wheel.
Yeah.
Which,
the Revolution.
Which is, if anything more, it's fun to spin.
It is. It's very fun to play with.
Comfort wise, though, it works for you.
It does. Yeah, I remember it didn't fit so well for you because it is a little bit shorter of a mouse.
Yeah, well, it's skinny wise.
That's what it was.
Grab your mouse real quick. I want to show them. Cause this is one problem I have is that it's got this beautiful form in the thumb here, real deep. You can see my finger kind of disappears in there, which is nice. But the problem is that because of that, my hand is having to do this, crab clawing it. And it's a little bit tight there, but when you have your hand in there, it's nice because it's got these wonderful buttons on here. I'm sure they got some good picture we can show here. It's got a little side scroller. Now, that's actually not a spinning wheel, but it is a scroller wheel, and a couple of buttons up here. So it's logical. It lays out fine. It was very comfortable to have. But like I said, for me, my hands are big. They're giant meat hands. So trying to squeeze that thing wasn't terribly comfortable. So she ended up getting that mouse. Oh, the other thing about it too I like is it's wireless. And I've had people piss and moan about wireless gaming. Oh, it's not responsive enough. Yeah, you can bite my left testy. Wireless gaming is just fine. I've never had a problem with it. Yeah, I haven't done a lot of Twitch gaming in a long time, but I've used wireless mice when I've done first-person shooters and never had a problem with it. You know, at least not for my skill level. It wasn't a big deal. But I like that mouse because it has a cradle that you can hang it up into when you're done, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the downside to it is if it runs out on you,
yeah, you're dead in the water. But
you're kind of hosed.
It does recharge quickly, and that's nice. And it holds its charge for quite a long time. So even
after all these years, that is another perk to it.
You know, especially with the boy kid engineer coming in and playing. He forgets to hang the mouse up all the time.
He's pretty good about it now.
He is now. We finally
when he
got
first
him
started,
in the habit,
wasn't.
But yeah, no, he wasn't. But it does do a really good job of holding its charge even after all these years.
Yeah. So for me though, when I got my loving wife gave me an upgrade. I actually went ahead and got the G 700. This is actually their gaming line mouse, and let me go ahead and actually move over to give you a visual on this. This mouse is actually really nice because it's in the gaming family of Logitech. Just so you know, Logitech has a gaming line of mice that work with their gaming software, which I'll be talking about. So this one is a nice mouse. It's actually got 4 buttons on the side of the mouse here. They're nice, easy reach, easy to feel with your thumb. It's got another 3 on top of the mouse and another one right up top center here. And it's got a release for the scroll wheel. So the scroll wheel is another weighted scroll wheel that you can freewheel if you want to. It's a comfortable mouse. It's a lot more comfortable than that one was. It's a little bit wider. It's still a fixed mouse, so it's still a little bit small for my hand. When I have my hand on here, on the back side of it, there's like a lot of like dead space, so to speak. So it gets a little tiresome after a while. That said, the big things I like about this is it's wireless. Again, I'm a big fan of wireless, and again, I don't want to have an argument about it with anybody. It works just fine. It does have a swappable battery, and this is one of the things I like about this is it currently has a rechargeable battery in it. You can swap it out if you need to, but it is a standardized AA. So in a pinch, if you really, really needed to, you could pop this battery out and throw just a Duracell or whatever into it. Also, it has a USB connection on the bottom here, and it has its own USB cable. It's a micro USB that you can plug in, and you can use it while it's plugged in charging. So it's just a pass-through for power. It's not going to plug in and start being used that way. But that way, even if it goes dead and you don't have the battery, you just plug in and use it as a wired mouse, and you still play. So that's another big plus about it. It also has onboard memory, which relates to the software, so you can actually load profiles for this mouse. It's got actually, in addition to the 8 configurable buttons, it's actually got 5 mouse profiles, so you can have ones that are made for sniping, ones made for using just regular mousing, and so on. Yeah, you're just like smiling, getting about this. Nonetheless, I appreciate this mouse a lot for its function, for the gaming aspect, and it's really, really nice. It lacks some things that would be partial to, like weighting or bigger bases to put your hand on, and so on. So that's really about the size of it. It's a pretty solid mouse, and there's a revised version of it that I would get in a heartbeat if I had it. Other gaming peripherals are important is keyboards. Well, I mean, having a basic keyboard is pretty damn important.
That's mine right there.
But to what extent you have to have for a gaming keyboard?
Literally and exactly what I have.
This is great though, because this is going to give you a good example of the extreme ends of things. So you have a regular old keyboard.
I do. I've got a literally no bells, whistles, lights, or anything.
Well, it's got lights, a little cap lock.
You're right, it does.
Anyways, I'm sorry. We're going to run long because of this. I apologize.
But yeah, no, it is a very standard keyboard. And for me, that works fine. Again, I am a casual gamer. My most heavily used keys are the SWAD. But yeah, that's really about it. I do that and the mouse on the other hand, and
T-Rex.
I
like the game.
Anyways, but yeah, I do a lot more data entry, typing, blog posts, all that good stuff.
And again, you're a casual gamer.
But
you don't miss not having the programmable buttons or the switch.
Yeah, no. Even when I had them, because I do recall having a gaming keyboard at one point, even when I had them, I wasn't quite sure what to do with them. So
fair enough. For certain games,
yeah, it suits me just fine.
Yeah, certain games like World of Warships, it's not as necessity.
Yeah.
Most of the buttons they lay out on the keyboard are logical.
Yeah.
But things like EverQuest, a lot of spells and.
Yeah, but especially like with EverQuest 1, it was released at a time when we didn't have all of these specialty equipment.
But EverQuest 2.
So it makes use of the F keys. And even with EverQuest 2, if you pay close enough attention, you can make use of the F keys.
True. Well, number of keys at least. But yeah. So anyways.
Yeah.
So what's funny about this is I'm on the complete other end of the curve on this.
Once again. Big surprise.
So I went ahead and when I got my new gaming system, my wife gave me the green light on. I went ahead just for kicks and giggles, went ahead and got the Logitech G19 gaming keyboard. This was the super hotness at the time. It's your typical...
What, last year? I'm sorry, I'm going to get hurt.
So, again, I was expecting this to actually be on time. This time we're already an hour in. So,
good gracious.
So this is your typical kind of gaming keyboard in that it's got 12 programmable keys times 3, because you have 3 different profiles you can load and switch between when you need to. It has a gaming mode switch, which is basically a slider switch that disables the start button, because anybody who games knows when you hit the start button and remember it pop you out of EverQuest?
Right, yes.
It screws up your game because it minimizes your game. You knew a gamer back in the day because you'd see their Windows key popped out. Like they'd physically take a screwdriver and pop the key off so you couldn't accidentally hit it.
Yes.
It's great. So now you've got a button for that. It's got a nice bright LCD that you can look at on the screen, which I guess is Yippee Skippy, sort of. More about that in a second. It's got onboard memory for profiles, which again I'll talk about a little more in a minute here. It's got programmable colors for the keyboard. It's one color for all of them. It's not, you can't make the swatch stand out or anything like that, which is unfortunate, but whatever. The downsides to this, however, first of all, is the screen is useless. It's a small little post stamp of the screen. It had like a YouTube app, but it was completely unfunctional. You really couldn't choose what you wanted to play on it, and it's a crappy screen. That's all there is to it. It's a crappy ass screen. It's great to have a little screen that has like stats and stuff on it, but I didn't need to spend the ludicrous amount of money for it, for the color screen that's tilts and adjusts. It's ridiculous. The wire comes off as this big thick wire because you have the USB cable going to the computer and a separated discrete power cable to power the damn thing. It actually has a wall wart. You have to plug in to power the stupid keyboard. Yeah, it's that silly.
I did not know that.
There's no app. There's supposed to be a bunch of apps that people could actually code for apps for the screen and whatnot. Nobody did. So there's nothing for it, and it is way too much fucking money. Even now, it is one. It's still going for like $150 plus on Newegg or Amazon. I've seen them up as high as $300. It's ridiculous. It is not worth it. I mean, even when I bought it, I knew it was kind of over the top and probably not worth it. But I figured, what the hell? I'm getting all the other gaming gear. Shit, fuck it. I'm going to do it.
Yep.
So, anyways, so yeah.
I said go for it.
Yeah, I said go for it. And that I regret. I mean, in the case of like Carolyn, like she said, if you really don't need all the extra bells and whistles and whatnot, which usually at most the extra keys are enough, save the money. That's... $5 keyboard will work just fine. You just saved $150 you could put towards a better video card. That's
more keys.
Or more keys. Yeah, that's that's the other thing. This rounds up the I'd say trifecta, but really it's a fourfecta. I don't know. Quadfecta of gaming gear, and this is the G13 speed pad. I love this thing to death. This is so worth the money in every aspect. Matter of fact, get a cheap craptastic keyboard, and then the money you saved, go ahead and spend it on this, and then go buy yourself lunch and buy yourself some beer while you're at it. This thing has a total of 29 times 3 programmable buttons. You have this entire face here of programmable buttons, plus these 2 buttons down here, plus the top hat here has 4 directional as well as pressing down on it. The onboard memory again, so you can take this thing and unplug it from my computer, go to another computer, plug it in, and it'll load my profiles for all these programmed buttons. And it's got the color coding as well, which is kind of nice. The color coding is nice and things like this, because if you do use those different memory sets, you can have a set for, blue is one set, red is another set. When you look over, you're in the right mode. Okay, before you start snarking again.
I'm not
before
snarking.
you start
I am not
snarking again.
Totally not.
If you play a game where you're constantly flipping, say for example Overwatch, where you play different characters in different ways, if they had special abilities, or say you're playing, World of Warcraft, and you're playing your warlock versus something else, you can easily see the color codes and you're on the right profile for each character. So anyways, this is a solid, comfortable speed pad. Again, tons of programmable buttons, very customizable, very comfortable. I used to have an Astromos, which is a great thing, but they actually, for MMO play, was starting to lack buttons. They didn't have enough buttons there for MMO. MMOs take a lot. This spellcast, this combination, etc. This allows you to easily get all of that and then some. So it's really, really comfortable. Really and honestly, I would say the biggest con, honestly, is just taking the time to create the profiles for all the different programs you use. And even that said, that if you look online, there's actually profiles that you can download that people have created to pre-script all the keys for you. So that said, I'm going to lead us right into the actual software we're talking about. Did I get? Yes, I did. Okay, there we go. Hot dog. So this is the last thing I want to talk about real quick here. And this is the actual gaming software. This is the software that you use to program all the things we talked about in the way of Logitech. That's gaming. Again, like her MX doesn't work, but my mouse, my keyboard, my headset, my speed pad. And one of the big reasons why I went with Logitech for all of its faults is because it's all Logitech. It's one piece of software that rules them all. So you can see right here, I've got keyboard, there's my headset, there's my mouse, there's my speed pad. It's all right here. And you create one profile and it will be set for all of them. So for example, if I go here, for example, and look at my keypad things, you'll see we've got a whole bunch of different profiles here. So I got a profile for Counter-Strike, I have a profile for EverQuest. And these profiles are set to automatically switch to that profile when the executable is launched. So if I start up World of Warships, it goes to that profile. If I start up EverQuest, it goes to that profile. That's kind of convenient. That's really nice to have. So it reads all your keys. And this will do it for all of them. So if you have the same name, same profile, all the keys on your keyboard, your speed pad, your headset, your mouse, all flip to that. That's really nice. And again, these profiles can be saved to my mouse, my keyboard, my speed pad, because they have onboard memory, so you can actually drop them down there. And if I take this hardware to somebody else's house and use their computer, it can load my profiles. So that's really, really neat, and I really love that. The interface for it is very intuitive. Mm-hmm. Anybody can sit down with this software and figure it out. If you bring up anything, you'll see things light up here. So you can do the programmable keys on top, the volume and mute buttons down here, the mic controls. And when you click on them, different actions happen. Here's where I can program the buttons. Mm-hmm. If I go back, I can click on here and go to the EQ. And then last but not least, I can go over to, where is it? The voice, the avatars. You actually choose some different avatars. I usually use a space squirrel, which sounds great. I was going to set up so I could give you a sample of it, but I'll take it past that. Yeah, it's like Angry Squirrel. It's great. But anyways, the interface is intuitive. It's pretty easy to use. It's pretty self-explanatory. And what's nice about these programmable buttons, too, is it isn't just this is now the G key, or this is now the Enter key. You can also do scripting. So you hit a button and it does an action, multiple actions. Okay. And they're so easy to program. You hit the button and then type this and then this action, and it will record those actions. You can tell it not only to record each action, but the time delay. So you have the cycles for doing the automatic heals over and over again. Yep. You can actually set a timer for it. So you hit a button, and for the next, say, 3 minutes, it automatically keeps hitting that seal right on that marker. It's a little cheaty for some games, but nevertheless, it's nice. So I like that a lot. Like I say, it's very useful. It's got a lot of functionality. It's very easy to use. Very intuitive. Now the downside to this is it is the most problematic piece of software I have ever had to deal with. Ever.
Wait a minute. Something from Logitech has some problems?
Yeah, go figure. I know. And this is what is so damn funny is people will kind of scold me for it is you put up with this. Well, yeah, I do. Again, having that unified software, one piece of software for everything all together is a big selling point for me. And the software, again, is very intuitive. But the problem is I will sit down and I'll notice that the little screen on my keyboard just says Logitech logo. And things don't work quite right. The programmable keys don't work anymore. Well, that's because the software died, froze, locked up, crashed, whatever. So I have to go into Task Manager, force quit it, and then relaunch it to get it to work right. And this happens often. So much so that I started working at my new job 7 months ago, and they use gaming keyboards because they use the macros on the programmable keys for, go here, and then you have to hit this button, this button, this button, this button to go through these tasks.
Uh-huh.
And because it's repetitive, they just program the keys. And they have that issue. Now, this is inherently, again, it's something you go to the forums and people will say it's a little time and Logitech denies it. So that's the biggest kind of shit side of it. Mm-hmm. So that pains me a lot. But nonetheless, the hardware's solid. The keyboards do well. I've abused them. They put up with it. So the build is solid, other than the headsets and their one failing point they had. So yeah, that's just kind of what it is.
Yeah, indeed.
Go figure. Anyways, last thing I wanted to talk about was actually wish list.
Yeah. Well, because, Christmas is right around the corner, so what are you asking Santa for this year?
Right around the corner.
Yeah. Sorry, I still speak retailese.
It's still technically July.
Yeah, I know.
Gotcha. I'm just gonna let that one go.
Indeed.
I would say for me personally, Logitech does have a new was the G933 headset. Sure. If I hear for you. Yes. So this is the new headset. This is the next generation from ours. Yeah, it's all key to see.
It looks really pretty, though.
Hardware, tech, everything's upgraded. But the biggest takeaway from this is look at the connections.
I was just going to say, look at those connections. They look
it's not the same at all.
Secure.
Now, the other people have said that the audio is improved, there's better things for it. But again, it's the same big, giant cups.
Yep.
Comfortable.
Yep.
They did move the buttons to the outside here, which is interesting. I'd love to get my hands on a pair of these to try them out and just see how they feel. But again, the build quality is pretty good. I really do appreciate the logic that they put into this. So, as long as the connection here doesn't suck again, I'm fine.
Those are pretty snazzy looking.
And for you, got anything on your wish list?
A chair that doesn't make my butt go numb.
I can massage it for you anytime you like. Your butt, not the chair.
Well, I don't think the chair would appreciate it all that much.
Chair molester. No idea what chair you want. You just want a better one.
Honestly, I don't know. I haven't started looking into it yet because,
I've seen videos with Linz's chair, the little gaming chair.
If people have recommendations, I am happy to hear them and take them into consideration. How's that?
Comments down below, guys.
Absolutely. Please let me know what chair you would recommend that does not make your butt go numb.
And I'll make sure to tell her that the comments are there for her to go check out because she never checks out the podcast.
Yes, I do. I just normally fall asleep while I'm listening to it. It's kind of like Lord of the Rings.
Really?
Right. That was one of those scabies comments. You totally don't admit it.
Moving on. Words fail me right now. Viewer feedback. Hey, Ziploc Bob, he actually commented on the conversation from last week. We talked about pinball games used to be outlawed because they were a game of chance and therefore illegal because it was gambling. And he actually made a comment. There's actually the history is because, as we noted, some of the earliest pinball machines didn't have flippers. Oh. So it was a game of chance, and there are places that would actually, hey, you'd pay to play, and you might win a prize if you get in the right hole kind of thing. But since adding flippers, added human interaction, and so on, that's why things changed. So
I could see that, yeah. That is good to know.
Bob has his smart moments, so good on you, Bob. Also, a little quick promo here. The next this month's Geek Fueled unboxing for not quite nerds is out. So definitely go over to Ball Rocket's our YouTube channel. You can check that out and watch Linz and Dan open up boxes. Well, watch Linz open up and unwrap things, and Dan will be a really cute kind of Vanna White holding the product. Not even a Vanna White rose. It's kind of those chicks that in Price is Right that kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
And over here and
how's that going?
Dano, you look great doing it.
Absolutely.
And one last thing for you guys is for the win. This guy, you haven't seen this yet.
I have not seen this. But
you will love this.
So I can
this
imagine.
Is Drake Davis, aka Shockwave. Describes himself as a pretty okay for someone who's been playing for 2 years on Dance Dance Revolution. Okay. Watch this, it's great. Are you following that? Look at those feet. People who I see people play like this, and it absolutely astounds me how they can just glide like they do. So there you go, guys.
I still think the thing that really catches me on this game is they call it Dance Dance Revolution, but that is not dancing. You will never go to a club and meet someone who dances like that. Or
no,
you
really,
kind of hope that you don't, and if they do, they're probably so drunk.
Hey, if you guys got an opinion about that, you can certainly say in the comments below. Or you can go over to the forums and give your comments there. We do have a forums for the podcast now. You can go over there and check it out. You can see who's coming up for co-hosting. You can give feedback. You can even advertise if you want to have advertised. Come on over and check out our guidelines for advertisement and let us know. We have to give you a shout out, so check it out there.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Freaking-lutely. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
You.
Me.
You're in something new-ish.
I am into something new-ish. I've been doing it since June, I think. Roughly about as long as the kids have been. May, was it? No.
However long it was. Anyways, what is it? What is it?
It's Perfectly Posh. I totally thought of myself as really not being into makeup or skincare or anything, and then I remembered that, on the times that I actually had to go to the mall, I would while away my time in the Bath and Body Works store. So, hey, lotion, soap, good smelling stuff. And I have found a great company. It's all like close to nature, stuff that you can pronounce and recognize. It smells good, nothing chemically.
It's kind of a realist hippie. Yeah, they're all natural stuff. They're using real stuff, but they're actually. I have to give them props. Watching stuff and her going through it, it's good stuff. And
yeah, it is. It's good stuff, and they're very practical and down to earth in how they do it.
And people can come to you directly.
Exactly. People can come to me directly. I've got my own website here. It is https. Let's see, // Lydia_Obler.po.sh. Yeah, I know, right? It's going to be in the show notes, isn't it?
Yes.
So if you want to make yourself smell pretty, come check out my stuff.
It's actually functional stuff.
It is.
I will admit, and I'm impressed with you because you've taken the time to really actually suss the stuff out, try it out, learn about it. If you're looking to get some of the stuff, go ahead and check out her site. We'll have all the links in the show notes. And ask her questions. She's been really, really on top of learning about all the products, trying the products out. And it's not just pretty crap. There are some really good bar soaps that have grit in them that really help scrub things. She used Heebie Jeebie.
Yes. And it's a foot peeler. And it
actually works.
It really actually works. And it's not as dramatic on my feet as, say, somebody who doesn't have the years worth of... Yeah, I was going to say, I have years upon years worth of callus built up from being either barefoot or in flip-flops.
It's real stuff. It works.
It is. It's real stuff. It works. It actually stripped away layers of dead skin off my feet. Yeah, it was really kind of interesting to see because it was
cool. It works. So anyways, good stuff. And again... Come to her. She knows all about it. She's done a lot of time with it. Very knowledgeable. I'm biased, but she's great.
Yeah, no, I'm totally awesome. Go ahead and right? Yeah, totally. I can do that. I can do it.
It's okay for me to say that about you.
Oh, that's right. No, you're awesome.
Thank you.
Okay.
I actually am. That's just a fact.
See, now why? Anyway.
Because I'm a guy.
So you can also find me online by looking up Girl Gone Posh, girlgoneposh.com. I'm on Pinterest, YouTube, Facebook, yada,
all
yada,
the links
yada.
in there.
Everything is under Girl Gone Posh.
So
yay.
Look her up. Yay. I'm a nobody. I'm chopped liver.
So what are you doing these days, chopped liver?
I do this wonderful podcast that we have in BRG and try to have fun doing it and not go insane.
Need to edit in cricket sound effect behind that.
Hey, yeah, I should.
You should, yeah.
I have to add out this. Then
God damn it.
Can't win! Yeah, the podcast pretty much takes a lot of my time up. I'm hoping to... I've been asked to guest host on Sequel Syndrome as well as Minus Rumors. I'm hoping to get a chance to join those guys because they're really great guys. I do have my gaming channel. I do want to get my other channel kind of revived again because I did my little rant channel. It's just a matter of the time to do the recording, do the editing, and so on. But I do have a few more World Warships videos coming out soon, and I've got more stuff in the wings. I really got to get around to editing, so we'll get to that someday. And really, honestly, guys, you want to know anything about me, just go to ballrocketgaming.com and check us out, because this is where you're going to find out about me as well as stuff that I support and work for. This is a community. We are a incredible community of makers and new media and all kind of stuff, not just videos. I mean, we have people who use new media to help drive other things like Posh, people who do art and music, etc. This is where my love is. I get nothing out of this in terms of money or gain or even popularity, anything like that. I do this because it's a great community. They're wonderful, wonderful people. I've met so many great friends as a result of it. I just want to drive this community and make it better by having more like-minded people. So if you are that kind of mentality, even if you're not a maker of anything, if you're just somebody who just loves video games and has a good personality and loves hanging out with the community, come hang out with us and be another VSD. It makes nothing, but she's wonderful to have. Right? And of course, guys, you can check out our YouTube channel. Again, it's not just the podcast that's there. We have the unboxings. We have new stuff coming out, like the Unrecommendable series that will be coming soon. We've got the weekly rundown by Dude Caller that tells all about what's going on with the BRG community. And of course, again, if you're a part of Votable, go ahead and check us out. Give us a little love. Give us a shout out wherever you go, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Votable, whether it's Twitter. Please, by all means, just give us a quick shout out at Ball Rocket Gaming, and we'd love you for it. We're certainly looking to try to expand and grow. We'd love to get to more people. Again, it's because we love community, we love feedback, we love talking. So, this is a great way to connect with people.
That it is.
That it is. And of course, again, if you have the ability to spare a buck now and then, we really do appreciate it. And this is money that is being saved up and put back into the community to help with everything from one-off events to recurring stuff that we have in the works. So we really appreciate it. So thank you so very much, and thank you for joining me tonight.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you for having me on.
I love you muches.
Love you muches.
Next week, I believe we have I want to say Lynn's from NQN coming back again. I don't have a topic just yet, although she's been chomping the bit to talk on the topic of female characters in gaming, which we kind of got into a little bit. I'd love to do that, and I'm hoping to maybe get a big panel of people together for that, so we can have a big roundtable on it. I think that'd be a great conversation to have.
I think it could be. Yeah.
I promise I won't try to stack the deck against Anita, dumb woman.
Yeah, whatever her name is.
She's a dumb person. She really is. Anyways, all right, guys. Ran long as always. I apologize.
Yay.
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 Golf tap.
Go for it.
Right. In 3. Remember to look at the camera too when you're talking.
Right, yes, camera.
Remember the camera is
there.
Them. Right.
Blue lights, camera.
Yeah, look at the pretties. You're all good.
Ooh, pretty.
Professionalism.
Someday I'll get better at this.
Professionalism. Anyways.
I has it?
Oh, yeah. In spades. Or whatever bushels professional comes in.
Cloves? Bundles.
Crashes. Herds.
Murders? Flocks.
Flocks of professionalism.
Good.
You're cute.
No, you're biased, but okay.
I'm in love.
I said you're biased.
Yeah. I'm still in love. All right, you ready for this?
Sure, why not?
Sure, why not? I'm not exactly sure why not, but...
Yeah, I'm not either, but...
God, there's so many bugs flying around here. Jesus.